Hey, everybody, welcome to John D Podcast. I'm your host, John D. Miller. Welcome to episode number 63, everybody. Number 63, numero 63 in the old Espanol language. That's right. 1,123, going on 1,124 days as I begin to record this of no booze. Yeah, no booze. Yeah, no booze. How are yous? How are yous? How are y'alls? Thank you to anybody and everybody who listened to episode 62. That was fun. Got a couple of questions from people saying, hey, what was up with the title? Well, if you listen to the episode, are you getting what I'm doing with these titles? Are you getting them? So what I do is, the title of the episode, it is something that I say in the episode. It could be once, it could be several times, it could be, and so that's what I do. And if you listen to the episode, then you would have heard at some point when I said that term, juggling poodles. So, yeah, that's where that came from. I'm thinking about doing something where, I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe, so you'll see the episode, and then you will, listen to it. I might say it more than once, so it would be like the first time. Or if I don't say it once, it would maybe just once. But you don't know unless you listen. Well, I guess once I said it, you would know. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing that. And maybe if you email me, johndpodcom@gmail.com, with the minute mark of where I say the episode title, then maybe I'll send you something, like a t-shirt or, I don't know. You probably don't want to give me your address. And that makes total sense. I'm not... Do you have a P.O. box? Post office box. Do you remember when we were kids? A lot of you are my age. Remember? You always send away to something, on TV. The Time Life Civil War set, Civil War chess set, right? And it'll be like blah, 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 P.O. box, blah, 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 Atlanta, Georgia. And then hope you got your stuff. Yeah, that was the good old days. Yeah, so that's what I'll do. But I don't know. Maybe I'll read the email. You get a shout out on it, and then maybe, I don't know. I'll try to figure out something. If people do it, I will figure it out. Maybe I get you a shirt off of MondoMonsterwear.com. So speaking of which, the geeky and nerdy stuff, I'm very excited. By the time you hear this, it will probably already be out. But in case you haven't seen it, maybe you will hear this and then know to go watch it. But basically, what was announced today? So tomorrow, March 19th, well, technically tomorrow, but technically that is today as I record this. March 19th, the trailer for The Acolyte, that comes out. And then they have announced the date for it to start as June 4th of this year. So as many of you know, if you followed the podcast here, I've talked about it. But if you follow the Star Wars galaxy in general and been following what's going on with Disney Plus, it's I'm telling you, it's just to see what it's going to be like. So just mentioning that as a cool thing to watch. I also do have, actually, which if you are listening to this one, you would probably like to listen to maybe something else like WTF with Marc Maron. And you got to give it a listen because I just listened to it today. Well, most of it. I didn't get to finish it. But it's been absolutely awesome. And it is Marc Maron on his show, on his podcast, WTF, and he is interviewing Dave Attell. And I don't know if you know who Dave Attell is, but if you don't, he is a legend in the stand-up comedy world. Now he is blue, as they say. But he is absolutely one of the best at it ever. And I just, my respect for him as a comic, almost every single comic has a huge amount of respect for him. So, but yeah, just give that a listen at some point. Make sure you're not at work or, just don't sit in Panera and play it on your speakerphone is what I'm saying. Why do people do that? It started out just phone calls, and now it's people just playing. I went to Panera the other day, and I actually was just out and about, and I just use the bathroom. Yeah, they don't ask. Not where I live. And I went in there and I went in and used the bathroom when I was walking back out, and there was this girl just sitting blaring, just eating her food, just, loud, very, very loud. I don't know what the fuck she was watching. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter. It was pretty bad. Whatever it was bad. It didn't sound like it was quality television. Is what I'm saying. But yeah. So don't do that. But definitely give WTF with Marc Maron a listen, because it's really good. And those guys are both just absolute comedy legends. And they talk about this is my part of it. I know that some of the people that listen to the podcast have an interest in stand-up. And so I'm telling you, listen to these guys, listen to what they talk about being in the industry, just a lot of things that they discuss. They drop some knowledge in that thing of just how things are, or how they've been for them, or how they used to be and how they've evolved to now, which is actually almost worth more than anything, in my opinion. To hear from two comics of their stature and their achievement and their abilities. I mean, I'm telling you, it is well worth I don't even know how long it is. I think I listened for a good hour before I had to stop. And then I would be listening to it now, but I'm doing this. So that shows my dedication to you. Yeah, give that a freaking listen. Absolutely amazing. I don't want to talk about Oscars yet, because I want to do that in the second part, probably. That I got something to say about it. I got something to say about the whole situation. One of the situations that keeps recurring in all these award shows this season. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna fucking talk about that, because it's pissing me off. I know. I care about things like that. Maybe you don't. I do. Somebody out there does. Oh yeah, what was that I was thinking about? Oh, I saw this the other day. I was literally laughing hysterically. And it wasn't even anything that was all that funny by anybody that did it. It was a simple article. And I want everybody to, I do have a decently wide demographic of people, a lot of men that listen, but the age group. All right. Now, so you're all going to remember this is what my point is. Now, even if, I mean, maybe a few don't, put it that way. Okay. That probably makes more sense. The article said, do you think that you could pass the presidential physical fitness test? Yeah. And I about fell over laughing out of my chair. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, I literally just started thinking about it. Think about what you used to do during the presidential physical fitness test. Ugh. God forbid you were in elementary school. You just had to do it in whatever clothes you wore that day. At least one kid's parents always forgot. So, he's out there trying to run the ankle breaker shuttle run in a pair of hush puppies or docksiders or some shit. Whatever penny loafers, or like a pair of penny loafers or some hush puppies, right? What was up with that thing, by the way? That shuttle run, you had to what was it? You had to run, pick up a thing, block, or a lot of times it was just a dirty chalk eraser, like chalkboard eraser, and you had to pick it and run it back, and then pick it and run it back, and then go back, and they timed it. It's like, we were trying to learn how to do division like an hour ago, and now I'm doing an NFL combine. What is that about? I don't think is that necessary? Is this really necessary? And then they would tell you, well, it's the presidential one. And then, when I was in elementary school, Reagan was in office. I didn't want to piss him off. So yeah, but it just made me think. So I'm just saying, just think about it and be honest with yourself. Could you pass the test now? Part of my laughter also came because I couldn't pass it then. That was one of the other things that made me laugh so hard. I was like, I couldn't do it back then anyways. I mean, what did they have? They had the sit-ups where you're like, your friend always held your feet and you had to try not to fart in their face while you were trying to do as many sit-ups as you could in a minute, right? That was fun. You had the push-ups. What was that? I would think that was just as many as you could do. The pull-ups, I think that was also just as many as you could do. But do you remember this? It was the girls, they just hung, right? They just had to keep their chin above the bar. I believe it is what it was when I was elementary. What else was it? Oh, the V reach. You had to like sit and see how far you could reach like down. And I couldn't reach shit. My chubs was getting in the way. And I've never been very flexible. So certainly not when I was 12 years old. 4th, 5th grade. No, not at all. Maybe my hockey days I got decently limber, but definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, not then. The V read, yeah, flexibility. The mile run, that was it. Like, oh yeah. Like I was saying, the penny loafers, right? The hush puppies. Yeah, go run and walk a mile. Yeah. What was that? Now, if you were in middle or up, you did it in gym class. Otherwise, you had to do it just during school, which, hey, it was great to not have to get outside and do a bunch of dumb shit that who gives a fuck about. Yeah, that mile run. Who idea was that? The thing is, this thing came out in the 50s, right? And they kept it until 2013. I'm just saying, and talk about some outdated shit. Like with the women hanging, what was that? Are they supposed to be like the 1950s? They just hang there. The men had to pull themselves up, and then they had to pull the woman up. She just hangs until she can get rescued or something. I don't know. Now they have some other stuff they do. It's like a fitness points system or something. Like, I get the initiative behind doing this to begin with. I understand. I mean, shit, in the 50s, there was, we had the Cold War, right? You had to make sure these kids weren't too fat enough to get under their desk. That's what you had to do. Flexible. They could run back and forth to retrieve water. And that's the thing. They said it was all, like, it's a physical fitness thing, but it's really all to be used in the event of a life-threatening situation. I couldn't do it. It was a little disconcerting. Oh, so if I'm ever hanging off the side of a cliff, I may be able to pull myself up. Maybe. I might have a fighting chance, depending on if how big of a lunch I had, what time of the day this was. I don't know. But that was an odd concept to put behind it. Am I training for the military? What the fuck is going on? If they'd had us like doing some of those obstacle things where you got to like pull yourself up on the rope on one side of the wall and then hop over, like you always see that footage from every movie where somebody goes through basic training. I don't care if it was Private Benjamin or Stripes, right? They always had it. 2 classic 80s movies, by the way. Hell yes. I really just thought that was funny. Could you pass the test? Like, no, I couldn't do it back then either. Jesus. Thank you for reminding me, whatever bored ass writer you were. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, well, I'm still the same weight that I was in 8th grade. Okay, good for you. You probably still have the same everything that you did in 8th grade. I don't know. But, I mean, that's not necessarily something to be proud of. I don't know. There's people, marathons, people like, whatever, athletes, people work it all the time. I get it. But here's the thing. How many of those people nowadays, they couldn't pass any of that stuff when they were kids, right? How many of those? That's what I want to know. What did this thing actually do? What was the purpose of it? Could I pass it? I don't know. Do I get some sort of a handicap now or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like you get older, like, all right, well, you're supposed to do this within 7 minutes, but you get an afternoon. You get an afternoon. You can walk through the park. You can go down by the lake just as long as it's a mile. Can you walk a mile? Just can you walk a mile? I think that's what it should be. Once you get over a certain age. I mean, I'm 50 now. I'm not old. I get that. But, can you walk a mile? Yeah. Good luck with that. Bunch of fitness guru people drinking smoothies. Actually, smoothies are really good. I'm just saying, you could put Oreos in a smoothie. Okay? Just saying, Oreos are, they're definitely not as bland. One of our sponsors can help you make a smoothie. Some of you fit people or some of you people who want to put Oreos in them. I'm not going to say who other than this guy right here. One of our sponsors, BlendJet 2, can help you do it. Yeah. So anyways, hey, real quick though, email the show, johndpodcom@gmail.com. Follow me on social media, John D Podcast on Facebook, John D Podcom on Threads and Instagram. And then, I don't know, if you want to go on Twitter, suck it, Elon. It's John D Comedy or John D Podcast, either one of those, both of them. We're going to be talking about that thing on the Oscars that I want to talk about. What I think is kind of odd about it. Just my observations, and we're going to talk about that, and then we'll figure the rest out, okay? But stick around. More John D Podcast right after this. When I quit booze for good, one thing I learned was to always keep your palate entertained. And one of my new favorite ways to make it happen is BlendJet 2. BlendJet 2 is portable, so you can blend up a smoothie at work, a protein shake at the gym, or even an NA margarita on the beach. It's small enough to fit in a cup holder, but powerful enough to blast through tough ingredients like ice and frozen fruit with ease. BlendJet 2 is whisper quiet, so you can make your morning smoothie without waking up the whole house. Lasts for 15 plus blends and recharges quickly via USB-C. Best of all, BlendJet 2 cleans itself. Just blend water with a drop of soap and you're good to go. With over 30 plus colors and patterns to choose from, there's a BlendJet 2 to complement just about any style. What are you waiting for? Go to blendjet.com and grab yours today. And be sure to use the promo code JohnDPod12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. No other portable blender on the market comes close to the quality, power, and innovation of the BlendJet 2. They guarantee you'll love it or your money back. Blend anytime, anywhere with BlendJet 2 portable blender. Go to blendjet.com and use the code JohnDPod12 to get 12% off your order and free 2-day shipping. Shop today and get the best deal ever. BlendJet 2. If you were looking for one of the coolest, geekiest, funnest t-shirt sites you could ever want to shop, go to MondoMonsterwear.com. They take what you love about fun stuff and entertainment fandom like Star Wars, Seinfeld, Airplane, Clerks, superheroes, and more, and make parodies of them so you can express yourself while wearing some of the most popular entertainment characters and franchises in history. Plus, a portion of all their profits goes to different charities, such as Ukraine Relief Funds and the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Right now, you can get an exclusive 10% off your order by entering podcast at checkout. Get the shirt that will make your next night out with friends epic. Go to MondoMonsterwear.com. Shirts that feed the geeky mind. And welcome back to part 2 of episode 63 of John D Podcast. I'm your host, John D. Miller. How was your break, everybody? How was it? Mine was great. I had a Capri Sun. I haven't had one of those in a while, but when you live with a now 11-year-old, that is what shows up in the house. Unless you go to the store yourself, right? Is that what happens? It was good. It was fruit punch. I brought down another one with me here to my little studio, huh? And that's what happens. And that's the thing. No, but that's a great thing about having a kid and but you're 50 years old, is the fact that, at 50, you got gray hair in your beard, right? You're sitting there drinking a juice pouch. Some people might judge you. But if they know the backstory, right? I mean, I know I was home by myself, but I'm just saying, if I went somewhere and I had to take like a bag lunch, right? I had a couple Capri Suns in there. Somebody who doesn't know will go, what the hell is that guy doing? I think at least some people would. I don't know why, but that bothers me. And then, but if they knew, they'd be like, oh, that's John. He's got an 11-year-old at home. Yeah, and he just turned 11. So, yay. I managed to get him this far. Mostly because of his mother. I'm not going to lie. A lot of credit goes to her. She's a great mom. So, happy birthday to my boy. But yeah, I had a Capri Sun. And then I brought another one down. And but we're gonna talk. How was your break? Real quick. I want to thank our sponsors, BlendJet 2, MondoMonsterwear.com. Some of the coolest shirts you could ever want to see. Is it still 10% off the entire thing? Really? It's the entire thing. You're not shit. Okay. All right. That's pretty generous. I would say that's pretty generous. I don't know. Don't clean the guys out. Anyway, shout out to Jordan over there. All right. I know it's already happened, But I am going to touch on it just for a few minutes here, the Oscars. I know, you're saying to yourself, why are you talking about the Oscars? Because well, first off, a lot of us like the Oscars. I just want to go to Hollywood and make movies. I don't know what capacity I would have done it. I also wanted to work in animation, which, very small category, the Oscars. No, it was good. Sunday night, wife came walking through. She's like, what is this? I said, it's Oscar night. She went, okay. And she was fine with it. She liked watching it, but she's not into it as much as I am. Kid played on his computer the whole time. Anyways, I just want to say this. How many times? Now, look, I'm a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr. over the years. I remember when his legal troubles, I remember that. And when he was in jail and the comeback he's made as far as as far as an actor and everything. So I really think that he's a great actor. I have not seen Oppenheimer, okay? I've not seen it. So I can't judge this Oscar he keeps winning repeatedly. Award. So I can't judge him on the fact that he keeps winning awards for this role in Oppenheimer when I haven't seen the movie. However, I've seen him a lot over the years, and I've also seen one of the people he keeps defeating, Robert De Niro. I don't know. I haven't seen either one of these movies. I haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm going to. I want to. I don't really get a chance much because, like I said, I live with an 11-year-old. So it's, what are we watching? Well, not that. I can't wait till he's old enough to watch more adult movies. I'm not saying I want to watch Porky's with the guy or anything. Or what was it? What, all those, one of those stupid 80s. I'm not saying I want to watch those with a kid. I'm just saying, or Bachelor Party, which was actually pretty good because of Tom Hanks. I think I might have mentioned that one not long ago. It's fucking Tom Hanks. Anyways, I have a problem. I have a lot of problems. I have a problem with the fact that Robert Downey Jr. keeps beating De Niro. And there was a couple times, every time I watch it, they always do the split screen. What happens? They show him, and the first one, because they're both named Robert, first thing he says, like the name, that was Robert Downey Jr., but every time they go Robert, De Niro's hit there, like, for a second, and then Downey Jr., and it begins with a D. They both have a D. Come on. The Oscars, yes, they said it so slowly. It seemed to me like it was slow. It had to seem like it was 1,000 years long to De Niro. Robert do you know what I'm saying? Downey Jr. I'm just saying, don't do that to De Niro, okay? Stop it. Stop being cruel to him. I have not seen either movie. I'm a huge fan of both. And De Niro, of course, De Niro. But I'm not saying Downey Jr. can't beat De Niro. My thing. I don't. When did it start? I mean, it was like the People's Choice Awards, the Golden Globes. How long does this shit go on, man? Maybe De Niro's role just isn't as good. I don't know. That guy was all right. So Cillian Murphy, best actor. Emma Stone, best actor for what? Poor Things, which, I watched part of that the other night and then I fell asleep. And I'm not saying that the movie is terrible, but man, I don't know. That's a fucked up movie. It really is. That's a really, really odd movie. But I was watching it and falling asleep. I was going to go and rewatch it on this old tablet I have. That I have down here in the studio, and I can just watch Hulu on it. And I was going to do it, and it was, it was on there. But I ended up watching 40-Year-Old Virgin. I don't know why. And I only like about like the first 2/3 of that movie. The last part's okay with the, when she finds out he's the virgin or whatever. Not find out, but she starts, yeah. Like I get that. I get up to it until there. There's other funny ass shit in there. So we got to see that. Got to see Killer of the Flower Moon. You got to see Oppenheimer now. I don't know when. They started at 7, which I thought was interesting. Like, fuck this late night shit. Get it over with. Nobody in Hollywood works the day after the Oscars, okay? And they work half days after the People's Choice Awards, and maybe or maybe not a half day after the Golden Globes. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Oscars, good job, Hollywood. I still like you. I still wish that I was there at times. But don't get me wrong. I don't regret having my beautiful wife and my awesome kid. Okay? I don't regret it. But there are times, okay, I'm just going to say that. And I think a lot of people are like, man, if I just done this one thing. Okay, fine. I'm good. How did you want that cooked? Medium rare? Okay, no problem. Yeah. No, that's like too draconian. Is that the word? I don't know. Is that it? I don't even know what that word means. Does anybody do words where they're like, hey, that's very draconian of you. And they don't know what it means either. And they're like, fuck you, man. Don't you call me draconian. I don't know. And then you both find out later on what the word means. And you're like, God damn it. What was I even saying? It's a scholarship boy now. What does draconian mean? Harsh of laws or their application. Oh, well, okay. That's not being draconian. Draconian's when you like make a bunch of fucked up rules, try to tell people how to live their lives that are a little too excessively harsh and severe. Draconian. All right. Draconian laws. Yeah, let's not have any of those, huh? Let's get to our charities, everybody. All right, before we do our final thoughts for the episode. All right, No Kid Hungry. Many school-age children are in situations where the best meal of the day for them comes from school. No Kid Hungry helps children with meals when children in need are away from school, such as weekends and holidays. No Kid Hungry. Wounded Warrior Project. The brave men and women who have served our country deserve the best care we can give them after they return home. Some of them have wounds that are external and or internal that they might need help with, or even just accessible housing. Wounded Warrior Project. BestFriends.org is making a difference by helping homeless dogs and cats in shelters be adopted faster and in more numbers. Their goal is to have the entire country no-kill shelters by the year 2025. Check out and support these charities or any others that may be in your local areas. All right. And after all that charity, if you got time for a little charity, you can support the show through the official listener support app Venmo at John D. Podcom. Did y'all hear that? I don't know if y'all could. Yeah, that was the dryer. Survey says, no money for you. Yeah. And you just, I don't know why, but just that one noise. It's a couple rooms over. And I don't know if you could hear that or not. And actually, by the time I fix all the sound on this and everything that I do with it, which is not that much, but I'm just saying, because, I sound fucking good already, right? No. But I'm just saying, once I do all that, you may not even hear it. It's like Tom always says, because I'm always, I'll be making fun of the trucks, the cars driving by. And their loud ass mufflers, right? And and he's like, you sound like a crazy person, dude, because nobody can hear. But I know I've heard it on here before. But yeah, that was the dryer. I was right in the middle of a thought. And people go, why didn't you edit this out? And I thought, I don't know. Because it's real. It's raw. It threw me off. And I might edit it. I don't know. I can't do that. I always sound like that robot from... what was it, Buck Rogers? Remember the little Tweety? Remember? Do you know what I'm talking about? Twiggy. Wasn't his name Twiggy? Tweety. Then he would talk, yes, sir, or whatever. What was that? A little runt fucking droid. That was the one thing I would say about Buck Rogers. They had terrible droids, robots, whatever you want to call them. They weren't that good. I don't think any of them were great. Probably about 40% of you that started this podcast, listening to this podcast, aren't even here anymore. So for you other 60%, all right, just believe in yourself, people. That's what I'm telling you. Just believe in yourself. You're gonna do it. There's no way you can't. Okay, there's no way you can't. If you keep working at something every single day, as long as you're trying, there's no way you can't. But don't tell yourself that you can't do it. All right, I know. I'm getting all deep and methodical and shit. I know. I'm not that kind of person. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe this podcasting thing brings it out of me. All right. As always, like, subscribe, download, tell your friends. Don't forget my YouTube channel, John D. Podcom, over on YouTube. Yeah, people look at my stuff. They don't subscribe. I have 2 people. I'm not even joking. I'm just going to admit that right there. But I had other YouTube ones, and I condensed them down to this one. It's fucking stupid. Anyways, check it out. And on there, you can see my short comedy album. You can hear it. Sorry. I mean, it's a video, but it's only audio. It's a picture of me. It's a stand-up comedy album I did, just about 21 minutes long. I did the artwork and everything myself. It's just a fun set that it's nothing major. It's not even the most professional of all comedy. And people might say, "Well, why'd you put that out there, John? Why do you want people not hearing your absolute best?" I don't know. It's some good jokes, and it was fun, and I just wanted to freaking do it. But it's free and it's on YouTube. And it's called Quick Burn, a short comedy album. I didn't know how to do that the last part, but it's called Quick Burn. Like I said, it's 21 minutes long, and the audio is a little wonky, and it's kind of fun because it's a small crowd, and the crowd was awesome. So check that out on YouTube, Facebook, John D Podcast, Threads, John D Podcom, and Instagram. Right to the podcast here, johndpodcom@gmail.com. Don't forget, if you find the minute mark where I say what, I don't know what the title is going to be yet. But when you find the minute mark and you email me, I'm going to have a special prize for you. And no, it is nothing. It's nothing taboo or risque. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I want to see if somebody will do it. I've had people email in the past. That's the other thing. You can always just email me. You know. Executive producers for John D Podcast are Tom Handcuff and Liz Miller. Thanks to them each for helping me to make this happen in their own ways. This episode was recorded and produced by yours truly, John D. Miller, in the Amber Tree Media Studio. Don't forget BlendJet.com, John D. Pod 12 as your code for 12% off and free shipping. Mondo, monsterwear.com. Shirts that feed the geeky mind. Podcast at checkout for 10% off your order. All right. So that's it. This has been episode 63, numero 63 of John D. Podcast. I've been your host, John D. Miller. All right. Don't do anything crazy out there, people. It's almost spring break. Happy birthday to my boy. Happy birthday to my mom. And, yeah. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And until next time, later for you.